I was wondering what the opposite of shit talking was, and I figured I could call it praise talking because it is essentially the opposite of shit talking. Shit talking is an amplification of the negative. It's an amplification of what you perceive as negative, anyways. Things that aren't meeting your standard, things that aren't going according to your plan or your expectations of how you'd like reality to unfold. And while the universe does tend to support us in a lot of ways, it's also continuing to provide challenges and opportunities to reflect and opportunities to learn and grow. If we notice resistance to certain experiences, these are opportunities for us to learn and grow. We don't have to point at other people and say that this is wrong or this is inadequate. But we can do that forever, over and over and over and over again. And people will inevitably not meet your standards. You can basically expect that it's gonna happen for the rest of your life, where people cut you off in traffic, people have to rebook appointments, like people bail on you, like you have to wait in line, like there's tons of things, and worse, of course, there could be health stuff that happens, people can die, like there's so many different ways that life can unfold in ways that you'd rather it didn't. And the thing is, especially with these smaller things, like having to wait in a long lineup or getting stuck in traffic or whatever. These are opportunities for us to get good at being in scenarios where things aren't unfolding the way we want them to. Because, things are just going to get more difficult as we move through reality. We're going to experience more things that aren't unfolding the way we want them to. People we love are going to die. We're going to have very profound and difficult experiences in our lives, and we have to get good at dealing with that. So you're blessed that the worst thing that's going on for you right now is that you have to freaking wait in line, or you're stuck in traffic, or somebody cut you off. Like, that's actually pretty fucking lucky. So shit talking, yeah, that's not feeding you, that's not feeding your soul. That might be feeding your ego a little bit by putting other people below you, but it's really not doing anything as far as your own personal evolution is concerned. My advice to you, if you find yourself in a loop of shit talking and complaining a lot, when you're complaining, that that's part of your personality. Whether you are you talk about it or not. Other people know too. Other people know what it's like to be around you when you complain and when you talk about your experience of reality and your focus tends to be on the negative. Guess what? You're not that fun to be around when that's a consistent part of being with you. So what kind of person do you want to be for other people? What kind of energy do you want to offer conversations? Praise talking is basically the opposite of shit talking, and it feels amazing, and it's exhilarating, and it actually feeds the conversation that you're in, and actually amplifies the positive. It amplifies things that are in resonance with you. And imagine the person you're talking about just walks in. How awesome would that be if they caught you talking all this praise about them? So that actually feels really good, to look for the positive, because there's another thing as far as where our attention goes. That saying, energy flows where attention goes. If you're always concentrating on the negative, well, you're basically saying, dear universe, my attention goes here. This thing is valuable to me. This negative experience is valuable. Please give me more experiences like this that I can look at. And you will most definitely continue to find more and more negative things to experience. The possibilities are endless as far as what can be offered. And what you can do to make your experience a little more bearable is basically just expect that people will cut you off. That's normal. It's going to happen. A lot of things are going to happen, and thankfully they're not all happening at once. We get some experience with these little blips along the way, and those are things to be grateful for. I found myself in traffic earlier today on my bike, and there was a man standing in the road. Like, he could have easily just moved. He could have moved out of the way, but he just stood there, and I could see it in his face. He didn't care. He didn't want to move. He could move, but he didn't want to. So for some reason, my ego got irritated by this, and I was like, "You're in the road." And he was like, "So what? Move around." Like, it was just the dumbest interaction. But I took that with me, and I was like, "Whoa!" Like, I had an expectation that he would move. And his reflection back to me was, just very simple instructions. Move around, that's what you do. Like, when someone's in your way, you have choice. You move around. You do what you got to do to get to where you're trying to get to. Maybe there's a brief blip in your flow, but that's all part of it. It's like a rock in the stream. The water just ripples around it. There's nothing wrong with that. It's all part of it. It's all part of the unfolding. It's our egos who decide what is not part of the flow. It's good to catch that when it happens, even in the small times. And it's especially humbling when even bigger things happen. So get experienced with people cutting you off. Get experienced and acquainted with these kinds of experiences, because it'll serve you later. It'll help you in dealing with the harder stuff. So anyways, yeah, just wanted to leave you with that. Praise talking. Get into the routine of it. I'm telling you, it feels really good. And it gets you honing your focus on things that feel more in alignment for you. So yeah, that's all I want to say. Bye.